What's up guys, welcome back to Finance to Fly. My name is Luke and I'm here to help you elevate your travel while minimizing your spending. Today we got something sort of new. I did one in the past right when I opened the channel up back in May of 2024. But this time we're going to be doing another real world example of how to book a trip with points and save a lot of money and book a luxury stay with points. This trip is going to be to Greece. It's going to be for 8 days. Let's jump in, see where you can get ya. Quickly, to start things off, I do want to note that I will not be talking about how to get these points or how to acquire them, how to stack them. There's plenty of different ways between sign-up bonuses, staying at the hotel, even buying points because you can get some good value from buying Hilton points at ½ cent per piece and then redeeming for 1 cent per piece. But either way, you should be able to stack up points on your own. Not much is going to be talked about in this video about that. And this is all a hypothetical booking. I did look at this and this was bookable when I did do the research to find the points. It might not be able to be booked now. It might not be able to be booked just as perfectly as it is this, but it might work for your dates in the future and hopefully gives you inspiration on how you can plan your next trip. So this trip will be for 2 people, and I like to do 2 people because a lot of people do travel with their spouses, and traveling with their spouses on points is more difficult than their solo traveling. I know that for a fact. A lot of less award space for 2 people, especially when you're booking, I guess, 4 or 5 months out instead of 8, 9 months out. But that being said, I am booking this for August 1st to the 10th of 2025. I looked this up in March and April, so that's when the video was compiled. I know it's a little bit later when it's coming out. It just was part of the schedule that I made up for my releases. But either way, what is the best way to get to Greece? It's obviously flying business class. And the great thing is you can fly one of the world's best first classes there and an okay business class experience. Heck, it's pretty good experience. I haven't experienced it, but I can see all the photos. It looks really nice, right? Emirates business class, you can fly it from New York, Newark to Athens, Greece. Specifically for 2 people, it's 174,000 points and $212. While this is overkill and you can probably get an award for 55,000 points each way, you kind of want to start the trip off well, and it's a long flight. It's a 9-hour flight. Might as well fly it in luxury and enjoy that, especially because it might be a lot easier to fly Emirates on this route instead of a route to Dubai because they have around $1,000 to $2,000 in taxes per ticket on award flights from the US to Dubai. And then how will we be getting back to New York? Well, Delta does have economy flights out that are pretty easy to book, especially with Delta points. Obviously, it's not going to get you the better value like the Emirates, but it's going to get you good value for 62,000 points per person and $230 per person. You'll be able to get back to New York, JFK specifically, and we're going to keep it at JFK. We're not going to add a positioning flight just to make it simple, because you can be positioning from Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Sioux Falls, South Dakota, or somewhere else where that you need to book that specific flight. I don't want to include that. You'll know the cost on that. It'll probably be $200-300 or a couple thousand points. But I love this redemption because it leaves on a Friday night, so you're able to leave, take maybe the last hour of work off, go to the airport, fly to New York, take that 11:30 flight out, land in Athens the next day. You get that whole Saturday to Saturday, then Sunday you come home, you get home pretty decent hour. But how do those 2 awards stack up to cash? The Emirates flight, it would have been $6,752, while the Delta, it would have cost around $2,400. In total, you would have spent $9,144 on that trip, and instead you did pay 298,000 points and $672. This ends up getting you a total cent per point value of 2.84 cents per point. And yes, you probably can get a better cents per point value if you are more selective and you book differently, but this is a great way to get points. I mean, 2.84 cents per point is still a really good redemption. I mean, that is above average by, I'd say, at least 75%. I mean, I'd say probably average redemptions overall are 1.5 cents per point. You're getting almost double that. I mean, yeah, you can get 2 cents per point easily. I mean, you're striving for 2 cents per point. You're getting 2.84 cents per point. That is a pretty good redemption, especially for 2 people. Now for step 2, you're gonna have 8 days in Greece. Where do you wanna go? There's so much to do there. If you really wanna see all of Greece, you're gonna need to take 2 weeks of traveling to see there. So many islands, so many different places to see. But for this one, we have 8 nights. So we're gonna book 4 different locations. Yes, that's a lot of locations. You wanna see a little bit of everything, at least get the major points out of the way, and then come back and maybe stay at one of the islands a little bit longer or whatnot. But to start the trip off, you're gonna land in Athens. You're not gonna wanna hop on another flight. Why don't you go down to Athens? You're gonna stay 2 nights at the Intercontinental there. It's a pretty cheap hotel in terms of cash and points rate, and it's a nice hotel. It's only gonna cost 71,000 IHG points or $487. That's a pretty decent 6.8 cent per point value, especially for 2 nights. It doesn't include a 4th night free. That's a solid redemption. Now, once you get your footing, you're gonna wanna go explore some of the islands. So you got 6 days left. We're gonna split it up over 3 islands. We're gonna split it up over Mykonos, Santorini, and Crete. I guess the top 3 islands that are the most popular, just so that we have the most popular places off the checklist. First island we're gonna book is Santorini. You'll either take a boat or a airplane over there. I'd probably take the boat. You're gonna deal with a lot more stuff with security and stuff like that, and the airport. Just, you don't need to do that. I think it's probably an hour-and-a-half boat ride. If I had to guess, it's a 40-minute flight. It's not a bad boat ride. You get to also see a lot of the other islands. I'm not including any of this in video because that can vary drastically. Big part of Greece is all these small hotels, small luxury hotels, and it's great because Hilton Small Luxury Hotels covers a lot of hotels on these islands. The Canaves Oya Suites is specifically the hotel we're going to be looking at on Santorini. For 2 nights, you can book a plunge pool room for 300,000 points. It's a lot of Hilton points, but it's a standard room and it's a very luxury hotel. That room alone for 2 nights would have cost you 3,300 euros or about $3,600. That gets you a really good 1.2 cent per point rate for your Hilton points, and that's so much better than the average redemption with Hilton points, especially if you have to buy them or whatnot. You're getting great value for your Hilton points. That would be a recommendation. Next up, you're gonna be heading to Mykonos. This is where you're again gonna choose another small luxury hotel because they have some excellent properties there and excellent redemption rates. You're gonna be looking at the Panoptis Escape, and better yet, you're gonna get to book a suite that is the honeymoon retreat suite with an outdoor jacuzzi. This will only cost you 240,000 Hilton points, so again, a lot more Hilton points. It'll save you almost 2,400 euros or another $2,600. Again, this is gonna be over 1 cent per point with a 1.08 cent per point value. Lastly, you're finishing off the visit with a big 2-night stay at Crete. Again, keeping up with this small luxury hotel theme, you're gonna book the Akros Suites in Crete. This comes with a private pool again. So you're getting 3 hotels that have 3 different plunge pools, all for 2 nights. This is another 200,000 points for 2 nights, so 100,000 points a night. And because the cash cost is around 1,700 euros or $1,900, you're gonna get about a 0.95 cent per point rate, which is still pretty good for your Hilton points. Of course, on this trip, you can stay in places longer, shorter, whatever you wanna do. Maybe you can book with Marriott, Hyatt, IHG, something like that. But I really like Hilton's footprint in Greece, especially with all the small luxury hotels. I think those hotels are some of the coolest. Plus, if you're holding the Surpass card or the Aspire card, you have status that gets you breakfast, free breakfast that you really can't get with Marriott unless you're holding the $650 Brilliant card. But I do like Hilton, that's why I would recommend small luxury hotels. It's also easier to earn their points, simpler to redeem, and you can buy them for 0.5 cents per point rate. So you can almost double your money instantly if you wanted to pay for this in cash. In total, the trip comes out to 1.1 million points and $672 in taxes and fees. This trip would normally cost you around $17,744, which brings an incredible amount of savings to you. I mean, that is a great way to save money and upgrade your trip. I mean, you also have to factor in, though, positioning flights, the boat rides between islands, the Ubers or the taxis, the trains to get to the airport, the flight from Crete to the airport. All that is not included in this, but I would estimate for 2 people to be around $1,000, give or take. Obviously, that could be a little bit low, a little bit high, depending on the season when you go and where you're flying from. But like I mentioned before, you get that free breakfast perk, and if you have small luxury hotels as your hotel choice for 6 of the 8 nights, you're getting free breakfast for 2 people, 6 out of the 8 free nights. That can save you easily 60 to 100 euros a day. So that means you're only paying for lunch and dinner and any other extra activities. And honestly, you can probably budget budget around $75 a day for that per person. That's on the higher end, by the way. You could obviously go lower, $40, $50, but $75 on the high end because you want to maybe go see a museum or something. But either way, all the other cash you end up paying is going to be around $2,800 to $3,000. That would bring your theoretical total to the trip to just around $20,000, give or take a couple dollars, which means that when you use that 1.1 million points and a little bit of cash, you're getting an 85% reduction in that cost. Originally, this trip is $20,000 and probably out of your price range, but because you used the 1.1 million points, you either stacked them up, bought them, whatever, you're able to lower the cost all the way down to $3,000 to $4,000 at most. That is a great savings. I mean, if you originally budgeted, say, $4,000 for this trip and you were concerned about the flights, concerned about the hotels, you might not be staying in the nicest hotels, maybe even hostels because of your budget for 2 people. But because you use points and you're able to stay at some of these ultra luxury hotels for less than what you budgeted for. Yes, 1.1 million points is a lot. There's a lot of ways to get that. Plenty of videos on my channel that you can go see on sign-up bonuses, buying points, earning points from staying at hotels, work travel, stuff like that. You can earn a lot of points pretty quickly, especially because they're Hilton points. I mean, 740,000 of those points are Hilton points. That's pretty easy to get, especially if you stay at Hilton's. To wrap up this video, I really want to just talk about why I made this video and why I'll probably continue making these videos. These videos are my best bet to show you how you can save money by using points. Yes, I could show you the ultra luxury redemptions that include $1,000 in taxes and fees to Dubai, whatever like that. But the real reason why you want to use points is because of budgeting, right? You might be budgeting a trip for $3,000. You have $3,000 to travel. You have a trip coming up. You have a week planned off of work. What are you going to do with that? Well, if you are in the US, you probably can't get to Europe for less than $3,000 for 2 people. I mean, you can get a basic economy ticket probably for 2 people around $1,500 to $2,000, just depending on when you go. But you'd probably end up staying somewhere in the US for $3,000 over a week's stay. And I'm not saying that's bad, but because you're able to stack up those points, you're able to use that $3,000 and now you're able to go over to Athens, Greece, stay on 3 of the islands. During peak season, by the way, this is in August, for the $3,000 and the million points or so that you have earned over the last year or 2. If you're able to stack up these points, you're able to get these free hotel rooms. It's big savings and it's really nice to just, I guess, elevate your trip, elevate your travel, like I mention always in my videos. You're able to elevate your travel to be able to go outside of your budget, but still be in your budget, if that makes sense. Overall, it's a great way to upgrade your vacation, a great way to save money if you were trying to plan on that trip and you just wanted to save money instead. But either way, what do you think? Have you ever been to Greece? Have you ever been to any of their islands? What do you think of this type of video? Should I make more of these? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you could hit the like and subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, have a great day.